Hello, hello, hello. What is up? What is up? What is up? I am Belinda Little, also known as Sparkle, and thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and turn on that bell so you can get the notifications. So today I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I said I was going to give a review of CG Cosmetics. As you know, I just had an extended tummy tuck muscle repair and lipo of the flanks with CG Cosmetics in Miami. My doctor was Dr. Scott Loessin. So I'm going to give a full review and let you know my thoughts, and hopefully this will also prepare you, so hopefully you don't go through some hiccups and hurdles and things like that. The more you know, the better off you are. I booked my appointment for my muscle repair, my tummy tuck, probably in, I think, about July or August, and my coordinator was Johanna. And the main source of communication with CG Cosmetics is going to be texting your coordinator and maybe emailing the coordinator and her assistant. That is the majority of it. I got probably one, maybe two phone calls from either one of them. So everything was going along fine. I paid my $1,000 deposit to lock in my date and my procedure. And the only hiccup that I had with CG Cosmetics was I received a call probably about October 29th stating that my payment had to be done immediately or was going to be canceled. And so I'm out of town in Vegas on vacation, and I'm like, what? I have all the way until November 26th. I believe 14 days before my procedure is what I was told. I even had it in an email from the coordinator's assistant, and they said, well, things are booking up, things are overbooked, so we're going to have to move some people around, and the only way to keep it is to pay the full remaining balance. So I'm like freaking out. Here I am on vacation and not thinking I have to come up with the rest of this money. And so I was like, okay, can you give me till the 15th of November at least? Because they said if you have it November 6th, then we can lock you in. I said, well, can you give me one more week to the 15th? And so Johanna called back and she was like, sure, we can do that. So anyway, I did get it in because I really wanted to get this done with Dr. Scott Lesson, because I've been looking at all his pictures in the forum, the CG Cosmetics group, and his work is amazing on tummy tucks. So I really wanted to go with him, and I wanted to do it in December so I can start the healing process. That really bummed me out. Like from the time I paid deposit up until the end, I was like, okay, good to go. I'm loving CG Cosmetics. It's cool. But that kind of pissed me off. So that took me from like a 5 star probably down to a 4 star, because that was kind of troubling. Like, if people have things set up when it comes to payments and bills and how you're going to make things happen, and that's how you expect to get it done, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, here's a wrench in your mechanics of your payments or whatever. And so that took it down to a 4. They did inform me that pre-op was going to take 4 to 5 hours. So I will say their communication was great. They told me pre-op was going to take 4 to 5 hours. They told me to bring cash for my drug and COVID test. And if I didn't have my labs and all that stuff done, EKG, then I would have to give it there. They gave me a breakdown of what everything was going to cost, and they said you have to bring cash. I love that they gave that communication, because I noticed it was a lot of girls in there who were like, we needed to bring cash. How much is that going to cost? And so I don't know if it was their coordinator who didn't communicate that to them, or if maybe they didn't read all the paperwork. I'm not sure, but they seemed like they were really surprised that they needed cash and the cost of certain things. But my coordinator did make sure I had it broke down how much each thing was going to cost in cash. if I got there and didn't have stuff done, including the cost of products. I didn't purchase anything from CG Cosmetics. Their prices are just too high for their faja and their foams and compression socks and things like that. I ordered mine from Amazon and was good to go. Actually, I'm not planning to wear a faja. I have a really nice binder that goes from up under my breast down to my torso and covers the areas that were that need the compression. So I don't plan on doing a faja. I plan on doing this binder, and I can make it as tight as I want. And at nighttime, I can loosen it up. So I didn't want to buy anything from them. So I didn't need that kind of cash. The pre-op, in fact, did take 4 to 5 hours, but I ate before I went. I had a snack in my purse, and I had a bottle of, I think I had tea or something like that that I drank on. You will get thirsty, and you probably get hungry. So be prepared for pre-op, and they tell you it's going to take 4 to 5 hours. So I received a text message about my um, surgery being 11 o'clock on December 9th. And once I saw medical, they said, oh, those texts go out, they're automatic. That's not the exact time. Let me give you your exact time. It was at 8 o'clock p.m. And I'm like, crap. So I had to spend the entire day after 8 a.m. on Saturday not eating. So that was a bummer. That was tough. Not eating or drinking. I have to admit, I did sip some water because a lot of surgeons do allow you to drink up until 2 hours before. So I did sip some water. Don't tell nobody I said that. At least don't tell Dr. Scott Loessin I said that. So surgery went along as planned. I got there, changed into the paper gown, put on my compression socks, and waited. So eventually, Dr. Lesson came in and he marked me up. He asked me if I had any questions. I gave him the questions I had. I asked how long surgery was going to take, and he said an hour and a half. And I was shocked. For some reason, I thought it was going to take like 3, 4 hours, but because I guess I was just getting the extended tummy tuck and all that, it only took an hour and a half. So that made me feel really good because I didn't, feel like I wanted to be under for that long, but I was willing to do it. So surgery was an hour and a half, he said, and he was looking. I said, how much do you think you're going to take? He said 5 to 10 pounds. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know exactly how much he took. I'm waiting for medical records to get me that information. Hopefully I'll have it tomorrow and I can drop it in the comments or something like that. The anesthesiologist came in. It was a black lady, and she was the sweetest. Her and I just got to talking. We were yapping and yapping, and her another person from the medical team was like, "Are you done in there?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, let me finish asking this." So she really made me feel relaxed, and she said, "You're healthy. Your stats look good. You're not a cigarette smoker. You're going to be fine." I had surgery before, so I kind of knew what to expect as far as waking up and that kind of thing. I was more so nervous about what kind of pain I thought I was going to have after reading the things in the forums and everything like that. So I remember them waking me up and standing up, and I stood completely up, and I was like, oh, but the rest of that night was a blur. My post op was 1 o'clock. I received a text, I think early that morning, 1 o'clock, that received that my post-op was at 1 o'clock p.m. the following day, and I was feeling fine and everything. I had a little leak on my left, but that was because I hadn't milked my tube. And once Dr. Rodriguez showed me how to do that, I never had a problem with either one of my drains. Dr. Rodriguez was amazing. He was so funny. He cleaned up all my dressings, put new dressings on, showed me how to milk the drain so that it doesn't get stopped up, told me what I needed to do, which was pretty much don't shower until the drains come out. So the drains can be removed once they go 25 milliliters or less 2 days in a row. So I was flying out Monday, and so since my left one was barely putting out anything. I mean, it was barely putting out 5 milliliters. So I sent an email because I think you can get through a lot faster with an email. And I said, hey, my left drain is barely 5 milliliters, and it's been like that for the past 3 days. Can I come in and get it taken out? They said, sure, our hours are from 8 to 6. You can come in at any time. So we got ready and we figured we'd go there before I headed to the airport. So I saw Dr. Rodriguez again, and he took out the left tube. It was so easy, pain free. He took off the tape from my incision, and my scar looks amazing. He took off the bandage from my belly button, told me to keep cleaning that with alcohol, leave it uncovered for 30 days. He said the stitches will need to come out in 30 days. So I still have a drain in on my right, and he said I could watch a video on YouTube and get somebody to help me to do it, or I can find possibly somebody who will do it for me. A lot of people don't like, a lot of doctors don't like touching the drains and stuff. They don't mind taking stitches out, but they don't want to be liable for what could happen, such as an infection and things like that with the drain. So post-op was a breeze. I will say it is a small room. And a lot of ladies are in there. A lot of people are in there waiting to be seen for post-op or massages. So you may get in there and you may not have a chair. So they don't make you stay outside, because you go up to the 7th floor, knock on the door, and security will let you in. Security was nice. The ladies at the front desk was nice. I did not come across anybody at CG who I had any issues with. They were all nice. Even when ladies were upset and screaming and yelling at them, they kept calm and handled it with no problem. So they've been trained, or they've had to deal with that a lot. I'm not sure. But post-op, you're going to be in a small room, so be prepared. Be in a small room, have your mask on. And most ladies who had the Brazilian butt lifts, they can't sit down anyway. So if you had a tummy tuck or a breast augmentation, whatever, you can have the seat, because they're not going to be sitting down anyway. But they give you 3 pieces of paper with instructions on how to take care of yourself, and what you can do as far as activity and when you can start it again and everything. Because that's what I was kind of concerned. I'm like, well, how do I know what I'm supposed to do? And any question I had, Dr. Rodriguez answered it, with no problem whatsoever. So I do think they have post-op down pat, surgery down pat, and even the pre-op is pretty smooth. But I do think CG really needs to work better on their communication as far as the coordinators and their assistants, because you can talk to one coordinator and they'll say something, another coordinator will say something else. So I really think they need to work on being more uniformed with that, because I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes in, because one lady will post in a group, my coordinator said da da da, and then somebody else will say, my coordinator said da da da, and it's totally contradictory. So I think they really need to work on that, and that will probably alleviate some frustration that people are feeling by dealing with CG Cosmetics. Yes, they are lower priced. My extended tummy tuck, muscle repair, and Lipo of the Flanks was $5,000. I did review Dr. Scott Loessin. He is board certified, and his work was amazing. I would take him again, hands down, if I had to have anything done. So while there's a lot of activity, a lot of people going in and out, they do have multiple doctors, and they have multiple coordinators working with all of these people. They do have somewhat of a system. But overall, I would give them a 4 out of 5, simply because of that panic attack of me having to get everything paid off a little sooner than what I thought I was going to have to pay. Also, because their answers and different things aren't quite uniformed amongst each other. And being somebody who is an HR professional of 20 something years, that's a big thing with me, is being consistent. Even if the consistency sucks, at least you can say, at least they're consistent. So that's my overall opinion about CG Cosmetics. I would highly recommend Dr. Loessin in a heartbeat. I would recommend CG Cosmetics to a certain point, as long as you know that there could be some hiccups and that you have the patience and are willing to work with those hiccups. That's about it. So the next video I come to you, I'm going to show you how to remove the drain and just give you an update as far as my care and different things like that. Okay, so I'm coming to you back home in my moo nice and comfortable, and I'm ready to back in bed because now I'm exhausted. So until next time, everybody, appreciate you tuning in, watching me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be right here with me, and I truly appreciate it and don't take it for granted. And until next time, deuces.